The previous lecture discussed about the analysis of turnover, which is a measure for vertical analysis. This is important in the strategic financial plan as it describes the activities done by the entity over a specific period of time. Good day everyone, I am Diana Angela Timbal and I am about to present to you the rate of return. After today's lecture, the students should be able to first define and understand the rate of return. Second, present a vertical analysis using the rate of return. To begin my lecture, rate of return alongside with turnover rates and ratio analysis is a measure for vertical analysis. This is important as well in the strategic financial plan as it measures the ability of the entity to generate returns to its shareholders. Examples are, but not limited to, return on assets, return on equity, return on revenue, and return on invested capital. In presenting the analysis and interpretation for rate of return, a format must be followed. According to Dr. Casurao, in his book, Strategic Financial Planning, rate of return must be expressed as percentage. Additionally, in interpretation, higher rate shows favorable performance for the entity. In writing the analysis and interpretation below each table, it should be composed of 3 paragraphs. On the first paragraph, the proponent should be able to analyze the rates based on the data of the financial statement itself by comparing it with the cutoff and standard. On the second paragraph, the proponent should be able to justify the rates by comparing it to the industry average. Lastly, on the third paragraph, the proponents should be able to determine the causes as to why the rates became unfavorable. To illustrate, here is an example of an analysis on rate of return of Ross Food Venture Incorporated. On the first cell of the first row, it represents of what rate of return it is. For this example, it is the return on asset. For the succeeding cells of the first row, it represents the 5 accounting years being analyzed. On the next 3 rows, it represents the formula for the rate of return. For this example, return on asset is equal to net profit over average assets. On the 5th row, it represents the industry ratio, while the last row represents the interpretation whether it is favorable or unfavorable. Each example of rate of return must have its own table, and below each table, it must have its own analysis and interpretation. For this example, it only have 2 paragraphs. But to reiterate, the third paragraph must determine the causes as to why the rates became unfavorable. So in a nutshell, vertical analysis using rate of return pictures the efficiency of an entity to generate returns to its shareholders. Presenting it properly in the financial plan results to a better analysis and interpretation. Lastly, here are the references I used in today's lecture. Thank you.